Okay, I'm going to take this. This is my TUID meeting.
Oh, go ahead.
Get out of here. Man, Ray Golden is ugly.
Thanks, Margaret. I can't think of what to say about that.
Oh, well.
Yeah, it was Margaret.
That was kind of offensive.
Well, she is a very offensive person.
Why did she say that?
She's probably stoned again.
I think we're waiting on what Mike's here, so waiting on Alexa and Amy, and then we can get started.
Tell John to let me in, please.
Hey, John, Amy says you need to let her in.
All right, let me see here. Just a minute. I got to find where that disappeared to. There we go. Let's see it. Okay. Got Amy, Tom Hill. In just a minute. And Alexa Wilson, all waiting. They all been admitted. Hello, Alexa.
Hey, well, looks like we're recording.
Yeah, it worked. I double checked it tonight to make sure that it was automatic set, and so we are good to go.
Okay, cool.
We're rolling. We actually started recording the minute we started the meeting.
Okay, good deal. We are missing. No, we're not missing Mike.
Yeah, we got Amy and Mike.
Yeah. Well, I guess all we have to do is wait for 6 o'clock, huh?
Yeah, we're close. Let's see. I think we got about 1 minute.
Yeah, let me find my text. I just had it open here. There we go. Oh, my computer says it's 6 o'clock now. Do I see a
agree.
cat?
You see what?
A cat?
Yes, he's
Kitty,
very
kitty.
photogenic and tends to jump on the counter when there's a meeting going on.
I
The main
have a dog like that.
Oh, yeah.
I think
Yeah,
he
this
has a
one-
fifth sense or a sixth sense then.
Yeah, he will probably
Whenever
start
other
bellowing.
people can see me, there she is.
Yep, on cue, he's bellowing now too. So he's
Yeah.
an entertainer.
Ah, good. Well, more people here. Well, that's Mike. Did we lose Amy? I guess we have to wait for Amy, huh? To get back on.
Yeah, I want to check the waiting room again. It's just taking me a second here.
She was here just a minute ago.
There we go. There we go.
Recording in progress.
Hi, Connie. Ah, Amy, there you are. Hey.
Sorry, I'm having internet problems.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's take advantage of the fact that we're all here now. So welcome, everyone. Thanks for coming. Let's do, I guess I already did a quick roll call, but let's do it again formally. Mike? Amy?
Here.
And I'm here. Oh, that is everyone, the entire board is here. Well, that's good. Adoption of the agenda. For some reason, the heading of the agenda item says public hearing, but somehow it didn't actually make it in a numbered item. So I suggest that we just combine it with the public comment and we go into public hearing, and then anybody can give their opinion on the budget. I guess we need to formally adopt the agenda with the suggested change.
So Alexa, you lost me. What wasn't numbered on there?
The public hearing. There's not a specific item number that says public hearing.
Oh, I thought by the nature of being at 6
Yeah.
p.m. and being
Yeah.
noticed as a public hearing, it actually is a public hearing.
Yeah, so it will be a public hearing, but we just
Yeah.
have to decide on at which point we're gonna actually do it.
Well, yeah, and it's also, if you look at the title of the notice, it does say public hearing,
Yeah.
and it's noticed
yeah.
on the, so I'm hoping that would be sufficient.
Yeah, and I think it is.
Yeah.
So does anyone want to make a motion to adopt the agenda with the proposed change?
What was that?
A motion
proposed
to,
change again? Sorry.
Go ahead, Mike.
I was just asking, what was that proposed change again? I think I missed that part.
To do the public hearing on the public comment line.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
I think that's good. If we can do public comment toward the end, make sure everybody's got a chance to ask questions after everything's been laid out.
Okay, so you want to do a public hearing on the number 5 and then just before adjournment, do the public comment?
That's what I would like to do, Madam Chair.
Okay, sounds good. You make that motion? I can
So I'll make
second
that
it.
motion. We approve the agenda and move public comment to the end just before adjournment.
And public hearing at line number 5.
Yes, I'm sorry, and add
Yes.
public hearing as line number 5.
Okay, just for change it up, I'll second that motion, and all in favor say aye. Aye.
All right.
Amy? Are you okay with that?
We're doing a question and answer at the end.
No, we're just doing regular public comment.
Comments. Okay. Yes.
Okay, cool. What's next? Oh, the minutes from last time. Did everyone have a chance to read them? I did, and they looked fine to me.
Yep, I agree.
Guess we need a motion again.
I'll make a motion to approve the meeting minutes from last meeting.
I second.
Anyone, if you want in favor, say aye, and I
Aye.
I have a comment on that. We had some technical difficulties and the recording didn't work for last week's meeting, so we just have to make do with these minutes, and since they're a pretty accurate description of what happened, well, I just have to make do with our apologies. Number 4 is the review for handling electronic participation. We are still doing this under UTAC code 52.4.2074 over Zoom. Works great. And until they tell us that we can't do it anymore, I'd love to do this at least most of the time. Public comment was moved to the bottom, so I guess we need a motion to go into public hearing. We can have a motion and a second, please.
I'll second.
I motion
Um,
that we go into public hearing.
And Mike already seconded.
Yeah,
And
sorry, I misunderstood you. What's that?
Okay, so everybody in favor, say aye.
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 Okay, anyone about the budget and budget adjacent subjects want to speak in public hearing? Should we pull the budget up real quick, John? Can you do that?
You know, of all the things I've had up today, like I said, let me see if I have a new one.
So anyone wants to weigh in on the budget?
Well, while I'm looking, of course, I'll comment, the change that we made from the draft budget was adding
Oh, right.
in the line for the rate study that goes in with the engineering. Yeah, here it is. I do see it. Let's see. It'll take me just a minute. Like I said, again, I got a lot of stuff open, so I'm gonna have to find it and see where we are
Give me
here.
a chance to take a sip of water.
Windows. Just a minute here. I'm getting closer. All right, let me know if you guys can see that.
Yes, there it is. If you can just quickly point out the change that we made from the last time we presented this.
If you look on line 44, which is under the heading of professional fees, you will see electric consulting / rate study. So that was initially budgeted about $5,000, which is more, miscellaneous for any type of electrical consulting that we needed done. So we added actually 20,000 to that line. So we now have a $25,000 budget that would cover a rate study and any consulting that went with it. Of course, they're, fairly interchangeable.
And that came from,
We did
Well, we
pull it
had-
out of the fuel budget. Yeah, we were originally budgeted at 260,000 for the year for fuel. So we did pull the 20,000 out of that budget, which we left some room, to on purpose for that. So that reduces that number to 240
Okay.
for the year. That you can
Okay.
see on line 61 under power plant generator cost.
yeah. Okay, anyone if the public attending wants to address this budget or anything related to it? If there is no one, I propose that we close the public hearing. Last call. Okay, maybe somebody can make a motion to go out of public hearing.
I motion to go out of public hearing.
I'll second.
Okay, everybody in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. No. Thank you all. Where do we have on the agenda that we can? Oh, right here. So now we can adopt a resolution for approval of this budget. I'm glad John made this agenda because otherwise I'd be completely lost. I'm just reading my lines here. Did we have what you call it prepared? A resolution prepared? You prepared a resolution, didn't you, Mark? John?
I do, Alexa. Yeah, we do. We do have it prepared to be signed after you guys
Yeah.
approve it.
Okay. So is there any discussion among the board members? Any questions for anything about this before we put this for a vote?
I don't have anything.
Yeah. Well, I
I
can make a
don't-
motion, right?
You can.
I make the motion that we approve the budget as presented just now.
Well, second,
Can we just do this a little bit more formal? We state our name and say aye or nay. Mike,
Aye. Mike Morlang.
Amy,
Amy Golden, yes.
and Alexa Wilson, yes. Okay. Well, thank you all. Fuel surcharge. We have had some discussions with the Public Service Commission and with the gentleman from the Public Utility Division of the state of Utah who was asked to review that, and it turns out that we did not quite follow all the rules for a rate change that we should have. So I'm proposing for this meeting two things. One, that we postpone a final discussion and possible adoption to our February meeting so that we can cross all our T's and dot all our I's with the Public Service Commission. And I suggest that I go through my little PowerPoint one more time, really quick, just a few minutes to remind everyone exactly what we're proposing. If that is okay with the other members of the board.
Absolutely.
Mike, you didn't participate in the discussion earlier this week. I'm thinking you were probably busy with your day job.
Sure.
Do you
Yeah.
have any
usually.
questions or suggestions or comments on this change?
No, not really, Madam Chair. I think any due diligence we can do ahead of the Public Service Commission and making sure everything is correct is
Yeah.
time well spent.
Okay, well, let's do that. So let me get my little PowerPoint up. Is it okay if I present real quick?
Yes.
Yes, please do.
Your screen. There. Share. So are you seeing my screen now?
Yes.
Ah, cool. I just started at the beginning just because I think this is a really good picture, a cool picture with nice colors. So I want to show that again. So this is the budget. That's pretty much the budget that that John just presented and that we just approved. And the salient item here is the generator fuel of a budget for $240,000, which pays for the fuel we need at $3 a gallon. Anything above $3, we are running a deficit. Even after all the cutting and fleecing that we've done through the year. The 80,000 gallons of fuel gets us to sell about 470,000 kilowatt hours of electricity, which means that if diesel costs more than $3 per gallon, we need a fuel surcharge to balance the budget. And I've done some calculations that I'm described here, but the the outcome is that if diesel fuel costs $3 a gallon, we do not charge a fuel surcharge. If it's $3.20, we need 2.8 cents per kilowatt hour to balance our budget. The 14 cents comes in at the $1. That is kind of the 14 cents that kind of sits in my mind. But that's really only gonna happen if fuel cost $4 a gallon. Recently, John bought a whole bunch of diesel for $3.07 a gallon. So if the fuel surcharge was already in effect in January 1, which is not going to happen, we're probably looking at March 1 now, the fuel surcharge would only have been a penny per kilowatt hour. Now that's the good news for tonight. And that's really all I wanted to show today. Unless anyone has any questions or comments or anything to say. I just wanted, when we discuss this over the next few months, I'd like this to be fresh in our mind. And I thought that Xing out of it would get me to not share my screen anymore. But I don't think that's gonna happen. And now I can't find the button how to stop sharing.
See if I can help.
Can you make that happen, John? Can you kick me out?
You know, I tried Alexa, but it let me on here. Let's see. Stop others. Let me see. I think that might work. You know, Alexa, it will not. Let's see.
Oh, come on.
Video.
Oh, your screen sharing meeting controls.
Yeah, I don't see it on my end there, Alexa, in that sharing. We'll look further. Let me see here.
I'm sorry. Oh, here, it's here. New share, stop share. It just came up on a screen way off to the left, so I didn't see it. So I apologize. One of these days, probably the week before the legislature tells us we can't do this anymore, I will have figured this out.
Hey, Alexa, I would just like to give kudos to John for, paying attention to the fuel prices and making that happen to where we could get, 2 loads this quick and take advantage of those lower costs. That just really extends that cost to our consumers, and that's a good thing.
Yeah,
And,
I second that.
as far as the budget
Yeah, that's
goes,
good work.
we're keeping the lights on and moving forward. And as one board member, we're talking about a rate study. I think that will really help get us the information we need to really move this utility forward in the future and make it affordable for all as possible.
Yeah, I think I said it last meeting that I've been converted to the rate study. It will cost a little money, but I think it will give us some clarity about where we are and give us a third person opinion. And even though fair is a hard concept to define, if we ask the questions right for the rate study, and I think it's really important to spend some time getting our questions right. If we do get our questions right, we can at least get to where the industry standards are. And the way other utilities do it, the way people that spend their working life divvying up costs between different user classes would do it in our case. We have talked a little bit maybe about postponing the rate study, the fuel surcharge until after the rate study. And the reason that I'm still advocating for the surcharge as soon as possible is that I don't feel comfortable with having that kind of pressure on the rate study. I think if we're trying to wait to balance our budget until the rate study is done, then we're just going to sit there seeing our reserves drain, and that'd be such a pressure on getting the rate study done that I'd be worried that we'll be cutting corners and not getting it right. So that is kind of my thinking about how the two are related. And once we figured out how to do rate changes, if the rate study shows that it needs to change somehow, then we know how to do it. And it should be quick and easy rather than bumbling and making it up as we go along like we're doing this time. I should
I agree
speak for
with that.
myself. I'm bumbling and I'm making it up as I go along. I'm not speaking for
No,
anyone
I
else.
agree with that, Alexa. I think it's going to give us a lot of information, and it's going to give us, you know, a really a good way to add every penny to our costs. And,
Right.
you know, and we may end up in a situation where the results of the study don't fit our community. And, but it gives us a way there, and it shows us
Yeah.
where we need to be eventually, and different ways we can do, you know, and incentives. And we're looking at grants, and we're looking at solar, and we're looking at adding all these different things into our system that will ultimately benefit the community. I just really believe that we have to start with that baseline and work forward. And I think it will do nothing but improve and shorten our trajectory to get to where we need to be.
Yeah, and I'm sounding a little bit like a broken record, but I think asking the right questions in our RFP and giving accurate information is going to be key to getting the information back. Otherwise, you just can't garbage in, garbage out. So that's why I want to take, if we're going to spend all that money on a rate study, I really want to make sure that it's going to be done well, and it's going to get us information that we need and we can use.
Sure. And give us formulas that we can take forward into the future and apply the same numbers to, and you know, hopefully come up with good results for the community.
Right. That is what we're hoping for.
And it's included in the budget, so we definitely can pay for it, correct?
Yes.
That's important.
We should. I mean, you never know what meteor may fall from heaven and blow things up. But
Well, I think running on the MQ, like John has said, is going to save us a lot of money
yeah.
and fuel. So hopefully we can put that towards the rate study.
Yes. Anything to say, anything else to add about fuel surcharge rate study? No, then we will talk about it again in February. Oh, and John, if you can post the meeting schedule on the on the public notice website. Everybody knows.
You mean for February, Alexa, or for the
No,
entire
for
year?
the whole year.
Yeah, and as a matter of fact, it's on my email list. I just wanted to tighten that up with you guys as a board and make sure there was a consensus on the dates and times. So I will send you that email.
I think that was the last time.
Okay.
So I sent it. Why did you?
Okay.
I sent it, I think, to everyone.
Okay.
So
Well, we did talk about flip-flopping a time to have the we mentioned moving the January meeting to a 12 noon and doing the February at 6 p.m. That would be one change.
Yeah. Yeah,
I think we were gonna discuss the surcharge on the February meeting because it was a late night meeting. And then
Yeah.
keep the January meeting at noon, I think was what we had talked about,
Mhm.
instead of discussing this directly in January.
yeah.
Yeah, if
Also,
you got-
January is really close because the meeting in January is on the 10th.
Yeah.
So if we want to have actual numbers for 2023 and have a 10-day notice period, that just doesn't fit.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the other reason I landed on the February date.
Okay, yeah, and as long as you guys are clear, a consensus via the last email you referenced, Alexa, I can get that posted on
Yeah,
the public website and on the TUID website. And
Yeah.
I've been mailing the customers out
Mhm.
on the list that too,
Yeah.
so I can do all that.
and if you can have a look at that, Mike, make sure that those dates, as far as you know now, work for you at some point.
Yep, yeah, I'm
That-
good with it, Alexa. You know,
Mm.
I'm kind of a next day type of guy, so. that
Yeah.
sounds good. I'll make plans when I
Okay.
see it.
Okay, sounds good. The next item is board reports, and I've already said everything I need to say. So Amy or Mike, you have any activities to report?
I don't, Alexa, thank you.
You know, all I have, Alexa, is I just, re-engaged Toth and Associates about the rate study, and we're gonna
Mm.
meet with them tomorrow at noon. And go over some of the
Oh, is that
preliminary
tomorrow?
stuff through that work session.
Yes.
Time flies.
It
I keep
does.
thinking it's still the beginning of December and we're already in the middle.
It
So,
does.
I
So
guess
yeah, just kind of
people-
reopen that conversation and
Yeah,
start having discussions on planning and different things.
yeah, and start, I know, broken record, start learning the language so we can ask the right questions.
Sure.
'Cause
That's all I
that-
have.
Yeah. Thank you, Mike, Amy, general manager and management team update, John and Ray. You can take
yeah.
turns in whatever order you want.
Yeah, I'll go down my list as a GM, Ray, if you're good with that, and you can
Yep.
add in from
So-
there. Okay,
sounds
yeah, just to
great.
pick up, with the fuel. Yeah, we had the luxury to take advantage, financially of a little bit cheaper cost of fuel at 307 a gallon. So hope is that we can get 2 months out of that from what I've been looking at with the MQ. And out of that 307, as I mentioned, you guys, 3 cents of that is a winter additive. So it was time to do that. It's needed and worth it to run that through a cycle, given the time of the year, for moisture and anti-gelling there. But yeah, the MQ, looks to be as advertised, as we analyzed before deciding to purchase or rebuild. It would pay for itself within a matter of months, and it's definitely headed that direction. It's smaller, less rotating mass. That makes a big difference in the fuel consumption. So I'm hoping, and I planned on this. Budget is a guide, and you want to come in under budget on cost versus over, obviously. So I'm hoping that we're under that 80,000 gallons, consumption for the coming year, and that the MQ contributes to that. And obviously will help at the end of this year and then the beginning of next year too. So it's done well. I'm always, it's not a everyday duty generator. It's a standby. So that means it's a little less substantial. But when you do regular maintenance, which we do, we change the oil on it Saturday. All 12 gallons of it, and fuel filters and all that. You just keep up with that and keep an eye on it. And we do that daily too. So we have run them in the past successfully. So that's doing good there. And again, the plan is to save as much money as we can on maintenance too. You guys have heard me talk about the communication issue, that we have a way around that, and just still to be just as reliable in case that ghost reappears, this year. Again, anytime the public, wants any information, it is public information. Always glad to share it and answer questions about budgets or what we do or cost or anything like that. So anybody's welcome to call or, come by or email or anything. You guys heard me say that. I just reiterate that. Always willing to clarify, what we're doing and why, for everybody's understanding. I mentioned you guys about the KVAR reactor. We talked about it. Seems to be behaving, for lack of a better word. So we'll just evaluate.
What does a KVAR reactor do?
It's I guess maybe Mike, correct me if I'm wrong, really kind of a resistance built in to help balance, loads and harmonics in our system.
That's
Um,
correct. It's
yeah.
an added load just to pull off capacitance, which is an overvoltage event.
Yeah.
Basically, our system's just a big capacitor with all the underground line and high voltage. So it builds voltage and it stores voltage and then causes problems later on. So yeah, like John referred to, it's a artificial load that, if we put on a motor or a reactor, they do the same thing.
Yeah, so we did, I used the local electrician and we shut it off, obviously tested it, took some parts of it off the coverings and looked at it, and it's had heat, but anything like that is going to, and you expect the windings and the laminate in there, and they looked okay. And as I mentioned, I think you can hear it. Well, actually, I know you can. When the cats aren't running and the MQ's running outside, it's louder. So that's just to be determined. Right now, it's doing what it should, and we dialed the MQ a little bit to phase it a little more on the volts too. So that I think that probably helped too. As we talk about fuel, we talked about looking at maybe a state-based contract on fuel, and I reached out to Often and Pierce to see what they would do. Unfortunately, the rule is you send out 3 bids. We do the pilot Thomas. They don't respond. I mean, so the actuality is we come down to 2 bids every month. Nobody else is really going to come this way. But I know of, but we'll see what they come up with on bids. And if we can, do that, there's always circumstances you can reach out to the state auditor with as a special district and see if they allow that. But all the pricing is on the Opus index. So we're looking to see if that's an advantage or not and what each come up with as far as that. So I'm still ignorant on that end too, how that would look with the Opus fluctuation built in, but I'll keep everyone abreast on that too as I catch up with Darren and Chris in the coming weeks there too. You guys saw I finished cross connection training, just waiting on the test for that. That's every public water system needs a cross connection administrator, and it's good to know. It has very valuable application to it. For the sanitary conditions of our drinking water. So that was interesting. And the next goal there is probably to learn how to test the backflow connectors. They're not that complicated if you got the gauge to do it. So that would help TUID save money too there.
Thanks for doing that.
Yeah, no, it's interesting. Other than that, just still the plans of organizing the power plant. We've been doing that slowly but surely, cleaning up and inventory and parts up there and referencing where some of them may go, from their part number, like a filter that we're not really sure where it belongs, to see if it has application, anything that we're doing there. So, but that's really it. Yeah, we're just, pushing on with the things that we've been doing otherwise.
Okay, well, thank you, John.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I'm
Certainly.
cautiously optimistic, John. Last year we started November off on one of the 190s there. And
Yeah.
we spent all spring on the plant.
Yep.
And so this year with the new MQ, I'm hoping everything's going to be a lot better. And we're gonna burn a lot less diesel and just good stuff.
Agreed. Absolutely.
Ray, do you have anything to report?
No, thanks, Alexa. I think John summed it up pretty thoroughly. We've just been keeping in contact this month. Amy and I have been busy shutting down our operations, so John and Connie have been pulling the big load, and we've been keeping in contact with them, but nothing new to report.
Okay, thank you. Well, we already did the next meeting date and meeting schedule, January 10 and February. I think we should say that out loud, just so we know. Um, does anybody know? When the exact date for the February meeting? February 7, so it's January 10, February 7, and March 13. So, and that will be published on our website and for the rest of the year too. No.
Yeah, I'll get that published, Alexa. And, you know, meetings do and have changed. In case it does, we'll certainly move to update any type of changes, you know, ASAP, but, you know, like should be fine.
Okay. Yes, I'm just, we're getting to the public comments that have been moved to the end of the meeting, and Mike is suggesting to do that from now on. And I don't know, Amy, do you have an opinion on that? You?
I think there is a reason we've always done it towards the beginning. Just something to think about. But
Oh, we don't have to decide now for until the end of time, but we'll think about that some more. I don't think we need to make formal motions about the time of agenda items. But let's just think about it. Okay, public comment. I see Jim having the lights on. Does that mean that you have to say something in our public comment meeting? Terry?
Yeah. Can you hear me, Alexa?
Yes.
Okay, we're having trouble with the computer here. Bear with us a little bit. I would like to first thank John for getting the fuel prices and shopping around and getting it for $3.07 a gallon. I think that's fantastic in helping us with the budget as well. So thank you, John, for that. Personally, I would like to see the same time each month on the TUID meetings. It makes it easier to attend and plan instead of, you know, kind of having it at 12 o'clock one month and at 6 o'clock the next month. We go out of a town quite a bit, and it makes it really hard, you know, to manage the schedule if it's not at the steady time each month, if that is possible, you know, to do. That's my opinion on that anyway. And I think that we should also move forward on doing the study, the kilowatt study, just so that we can move forward and versus later, just keep things moving on this. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else wants to speak? Whenever I say that, I want to say speak now and forever hold your peace, but that's not appropriate in this setting. Speak now or try again next month doesn't sound that good.
Well, you know, Alexa, we're kind of all one big happy family, whether we want to be or not.
Okay, last call for anyone to speak at this meeting. Okay, I think that means that we can move to it.
I would just like to say one thing. Congratulations to you on your appointment to, what was it? The, appointed
Oh, yes,
person of the
here,
year for UAPS. That's pretty impressive.
let me show my new office decoration here.
Nice.
Yeah. Yay.
Did
Yeah,
you get any
it
free
was-
stuff? Anything you could share, Alexa, like a hat or anything you could share?
No, I could have stayed for lunch, but since if you had been here, John, I would have be happy to go into lunch, but I thought it was gonna be like one of these buffet things, but it was a sit down thing, and I didn't have the patience to get stuck at the table with people I didn't know for 45 minutes. So
Some
I
UAPS
just
swag.
escaped. No, they didn't have any swag. At least they didn't offer me any.
Well, congratulations.
Even
It's
the
well earned.
t-shirts.
I know you've put a
Mm.
lot of heart and soul and effort into everything that's going on in Tickaboo, and we appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn this meeting.
All second.
Everybody in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And again, my apologies for not getting last meeting on video, but we'll get this one on TUID TV tomorrow.
We're good from beginning to end on this one, so we've done pretty well, other than that technical glitch, but we'll certainly get it out.
Okay,
Thank you.
Yeah.
well, thank you all. Have a good evening, and
Thank
for the
you.
ones I will not talk to, most people I will talk to before then, but Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, everybody.
And,
Same to you guys.
and the next meeting will be in 2024 with a whole new year in front of us to do beautiful things.
All right,
Take care.
guys.
Bye. Thank
you.
you.
Bye.